What if I told you the ancient world was filled with secrets, hidden messages, forgotten truths, and puzzles carved into stone, waiting centuries for someone to notice? Behind the towering pyramids, the silent statues, and the crumbling ruins we admire today, there are whispers of stories untold. These monuments weren't just built to impress. They were designed to endure, to outlast empires, and perhaps to guard mysteries we've only begun to unravel. Think about the last time you stood before an ancient structure, maybe in a history book or a documentary. The weight of time, the sheer scale of human effort it took to create something so lasting. Now picture this: what if those stones could talk? What if the cracks in the walls, the odd carvings in the shadows, the precise alignments with the stars, what if they're not accidents but clues? For generations, explorers and scholars have stared at these same wonders, sensing there's more beneath the surface. And today, we're going to follow that itch of curiosity, digging into the enigmas that have baffled historians, archaeologists, and even conspiracy theorists for centuries. This isn't just a tour of old ruins, it's a journey into the unknown corners of history where every monument has a second story, one that wasn't written in textbooks. From the eerie precision of megalithic structures that defy explanation, to the cryptic symbols hidden in plain sight on temple walls, we're about to uncover the layers of secrets these ancient builders left behind. Some were meant to be found, others, well, they might have been buried for a reason. So if you've ever wondered what the past is still trying to tell us, or why some mysteries refuse to stay solved, stick around. Because history, as it turns out, is far stranger than we've been led to believe. The Great Pyramid of Giza stands as one of humanity's most enduring mysteries. A structure so precise, so monumental, that even after thousands of years we're still uncovering its secrets. For centuries, historians and archaeologists believed they had mapped its every corridor and chamber. But what if we've only scratched the surface? Recent scans using advanced technology like muon radiography have revealed something startling: hidden voids deep within the pyramid's core, spaces that don't appear on any ancient blueprint. These aren't just small gaps, some are large enough to be undiscovered chambers, potentially holding artifacts, inscriptions, or even clues to why the pyramid was built with such impossible precision in the first place. Why haven't we explored these voids yet? The answer lies in the pyramid's sheer complexity and the delicate balance of preserving history. Drilling into these ancient stones risks damaging irreplaceable structures, and without knowing exactly what lies behind those walls, researchers proceed with caution. Some speculate these hidden spaces could be architectural features meant to relieve pressure, while others wonder if they're sealed burial chambers or repositories of lost knowledge. Then there's the controversial theory of the Hall of Records, a legendary archive said to contain the wisdom of a forgotten civilization, possibly hidden beneath the pyramid's foundations. The most tantalizing void lies just above the Grand Gallery, a corridor leading to the king's chamber. Scans show an empty space nearly 100 feet long, its purpose completely unknown. Could it be a construction flaw, or was it intentionally sealed off? And if so, why? Even with modern tools, penetrating these secrets isn't simple. The pyramid's builders went to extraordinary lengths to protect its innermost sanctums, traps, false passages, and layers of limestone designed to deter intruders. Every new discovery raises more questions than answers, proving that the Great Pyramid still guards its most profound secrets. What makes these hidden spaces so significant? They challenge our understanding of ancient engineering. The pyramid's alignment with celestial bodies, its mathematical perfection, and now these unexplored chambers suggest the builders possessed knowledge we're only beginning to grasp. Whether these voids hold treasures, forgotten chambers, or simply the echoes of an advanced civilization's ingenuity, one thing is clear: the Great Pyramid isn't just a tomb. It's a puzzle waiting to be solved, a testament to the fact that even the most studied monuments on Earth still have stories to tell. And until we find a way to peer behind those ancient walls, the mystery remains as vast as the desert sands surrounding it. Standing alone on the windswept Salisbury Plain, Stonehenge has baffled historians for centuries. How did ancient people without modern tools or written language transport these colossal stones, some weighing as much as 50 tons, from quarries over 150 miles away? Even more perplexing is why they went to such extraordinary lengths to arrange them with such precise alignment to celestial events. The summer solstice sunrise, for instance, pierces perfectly between the heel stone and slaughter stone, casting a beam that aligns with the monument's central axis. But was this just a celestial calendar or something far more profound? Beneath the surface, the mystery deepens. Ground-penetrating radar surveys have revealed a hidden network of pits, pathways, and even the remnants of a once massive stone circle, nearby structures invisible to the naked eye, buried for millennia. Some archaeologists believe these features formed part of a vast ritual landscape, with Stonehenge as its centerpiece. Others speculate they could mark burial sites of high-ranking individuals, hinted at by cremated human remains found in the area. Then there's the tantalizing theory of bluestone healing, the idea that the smaller bluestones, hauled all the way from Wales, were believed to possess magical properties. Where patterns on these stones suggest they were repeatedly touched or scraped, as if people sought their power, modern technology continues to peel back the layers. Laser scans have uncovered intricate carvings of daggers and axes on some stones, invisible to the naked eye due to weathering. Were these symbols of power, warnings, or part of forgotten rituals? Even the monument's acoustics raise questions. Experiments show the arrangement creates strange echoes, amplifying certain sounds while muffling others, as if designed for auditory illusions during ceremonies. Perhaps the greatest enigma is Stonehenge's true purpose. Was it an astronomical observatory, a sacred healing site, a place of ancestral worship, or all three? The lack of written records from its builders means every clue is fragmentary, open to interpretation. Recent excavations near the Avenue, a pathway leading to Stonehenge, suggest processions might have taken place there with people carrying fire or offerings. Yet for every answer unearthed, new questions emerge. One thing is certain: Stonehenge was never meant to stand in isolation. It was part of a living, breathing ritual landscape, its meaning evolving over centuries. The stones whisper of a society deeply connected to the cosmos, the earth, and forces we can only begin to fathom. And as long as even a single mystery remains buried beneath those ancient sarcens, the pull to uncover the truth will endure, just as the monument itself has endured, silent and steadfast, for over 4,000 years. The Sphinx of Giza wears its riddles like the desert wears sand. Every gust of wind seems to reveal one layer only to bury another. While most associate this half-lion, half-human colossus with the pharaohs, mounting evidence suggests its origins might be far older than we've been taught. Traditional Egyptology dates it to around 2500 BC, attributing its face to Pharaoh Khafre. But erosion patterns tell a different story. Geologists point to vertical weathering on the Sphinx's body, consistent with heavy rainfall, something Egypt hasn't experienced since at least 7000 BC. Could this mean the Sphinx predates dynastic Egypt by millennia? The debate divides scholars, with some arguing it's evidence of a lost civilization, while others insist it's just an anomaly in the stone. Beneath its massive pores lies another enigma. Ground-penetrating radar surveys have detected anomalies: rectangular chambers and tunnels etched into the bedrock, some filled with sand, others eerily hollow. One cavity, located directly below the Sphinx's right paw, measures roughly 30 feet by 15, its purpose unknown. Early 20th century accounts even mention a door or passageway hidden beneath the structure, sealed by authorities after cursory investigations. Could these spaces hold artifacts, forgotten texts, or even the fabled Hall of Records? Edgar Cayce, the so-called sleeping prophet, famously claimed a hidden archive of Atlantean knowledge lay buried here waiting to rewrite history. While mainstream archaeology dismisses this as fantasy, the persistence of unexplored chambers keeps the theory alive. Recent technology has only amplified the intrigue. In 2020, high-resolution scans revealed a series of narrow shafts running diagonally from the Sphinx's rear toward its core, too precise to be natural fissures. One leads toward the hypothetical chamber beneath the paws, fueling speculation of an intentional design. But why would ancient builders go to such lengths to conceal something? Some suggest protective measures like the pyramids. The Sphinx might guard its secrets deliberately. Others propose these spaces were part of an initiation ritual accessible only to the worthy. The most compelling clue might lie in the alignment. The Sphinx gazes due east directly at the rising sun on the spring equinox, a date tied to rebirth in ancient cultures. Beneath it, radar suggests a labyrinthine network mirroring celestial patterns, much like the pyramid's shafts align with stars. If these hidden chambers weren't storage, could they have been ceremonial? A place where the living communed with the divine or accessed ancestral wisdom. Until someone excavates these spaces, a prospect riddled with political and preservation hurdles, the Sphinx's secrets remain locked in stone. But every scan, every new erosion study chips away at the mystery. Whether it's a time capsule from a forgotten age, a pharaoh's vanity project, or something beyond our current understanding, one truth is undeniable: the Sphinx still has stories to tell. And as long as that stoic face stares into the horizon, we'll keep searching for the key to its silence. High in the Andes, shrouded in mist and mystery, Machu Picchu's stone terraces cling to the mountainside like a secret the earth isn't ready to surrender. While tourists marvel at its sunlit temples and panoramic vistas, few realize the real enigma lies beneath their feet. Recent LiDAR scans and ground-penetrating radar have peeled back the jungle's veil, exposing a hidden underworld of tunnels, chambers, and water channels, some perfectly carved, others eerily unfinished, hinting that this lost city might have been far more than a royal retreat. One of the most startling discoveries is a network of subterranean passages snaking beneath the Temple of the Condor. These aren't natural fissures, their straight edges and right angles scream human craftsmanship. Some lead toward ceremonial plazas, while others dead end abruptly, as if construction was halted mid-project. Archaeologists have theorized these tunnels could be part of a vast hydraulic system designed to channel sacred springs for rituals. But there's a twist. Inca legends speak of chincanas, labyrinthine tunnels linking Machu Picchu to other sacred sites, possibly even Cusco, 45 miles away. Could these be physical remnants of that myth? Expeditions have found stretches of hollowed-out rock, but collapses and deliberate blockages have kept explorers from mapping the full extent. Then there's the enigma of the doorway of the Amaru. In 2016, a team discovered a sealed entrance hidden behind vegetation, its lintel carved with serpentine motifs, a symbol of the Amaru, a mythical Inca dragon representing hidden knowledge. Behind it, a narrow corridor and a small chamber with unusual acoustic properties where whispers echo like shouts. Was this a priest's oracle space, a storage vault for sacred objects, or something darker? Local Quechua elders insist such places were pacarina, portals to the underworld where the living could communicate with ancestors. The Incas' obsession with duality, light and shadow, earth and sky, suggests these underground spaces weren't just functional. They mirrored the cosmos, turning Machu Picchu into a living mandala of sacred geography. Ongoing excavations near the Temple of the Moon have added fuel to the fire. Workers uncovered a series of trapezoidal niches lining a hidden cave, each precisely aligned to catch the winter solstice sunrise. Inside, traces of burnt offerings and shattered ceramics point to ceremonies we can barely comprehend. Even more puzzling is the absence of human remains. If Machu Picchu was a spiritual hub, where are the burials? Some researchers propose the answer lies in the untouched chambers beneath Huayna Picchu, the towering peak that looms over the ruins. Scans show anomalies. There are two rectangular voids that could be tombs, sealed for centuries by rock slides. The biggest question remains, why build here at all? At 8,000 feet in a landslide-prone zone, the logistics defied logic. Yet the Inca didn't just survive, they thrived, carving stones so precisely that a knife blade can't slip between them. New studies suggest the site's alignment with solstices wasn't just ceremonial. It functioned as a colossal agricultural calendar, with terraces engineered to create microclimates for crops. But with every tunnel mapped and every chamber scanned, Machu Picchu taunts us. Was it a fortress, a university for astronomer priests, a pilgrimage site where the earth itself was worshipped? The stones won't say, not yet. What we do know is this: Machu Picchu's beauty is a distraction. Its true genius lies in what's concealed, the whispers of water in dark tunnels, the precision of angles we've barely measured, the ghosts of rituals we'll never witness. Until archaeologists can safely explore those sealed passages, the city's deepest secrets remain buried, waiting for the day the mountains decide to speak. Carved into the rose-red cliffs of Jordan's desert, Petra's towering facades have long dazzled visitors, but the real magic lies in what's not immediately visible. This ancient Nabatean city, famously accessed through the narrow Sick Gorge, hides a labyrinth of tunnels, chambers, and even entire buildings buried beneath the sand. Recent scans using ground-penetrating radar reveal anomalies deep within the rock, suggesting entire sections of the city remain untouched, possibly for over 2,000 years. One of the most tantalizing discoveries, a massive, previously unknown structure buried near the center of Petra, its outline matching the scale of a royal palace. Why hasn't it been excavated? The answer lies in Petra's fragile sandstone, where every dig risks collapsing hidden voids we don't yet understand. Then there's the mystery of the monastery, Petra's largest monument. While its facade is well documented, few realize its interior conceals a narrow staircase descending into bedrock, a passage locals claim leads to a network of sealed chambers. Early 20th century explorers reported strange echoes and drafts in the area, hinting at hollow spaces behind the walls. Even more intriguing are the water channels. The Nabateans were masters of hydraulics, carving intricate systems to sustain their desert city. But some tunnels veer off abruptly, terminating in dead ends or vertical shafts too narrow for humans. Were these part of a hidden drainage system, or could they have been used to transport something far more valuable? Legends persist of lost treasures, gold, scrolls, even the fabled Ark of the Covenant, hidden in Petra's depths. In 2016, archaeologists uncovered a cache of ceremonial objects beneath the treasury's floor, including inscribed coins and offerings to the god Dashara. But the most compelling clue lies in the tomb of the Roman soldier, where infrared scans detected metal anomalies behind a false wall. Could these be weapons, artifacts, or something more personal? The Nabateans were notorious for their secrecy, often burying their dead with elaborate rituals. Some tombs, like the royal tombs, show signs of deliberate concealment, their entrances obscured by rockfall that seems too strategic to be accidental. Technology is slowly peeling back the layers. LiDAR surveys have mapped over 800 new cave systems in the surrounding cliffs, many with carvings suggesting ritual use. One, dubbed the Snake Chamber, features a coiled serpent motif and a ceiling aligned with the winter solstice sunset, a detail Nabatean priests might have used to mark sacred time. But the biggest enigma remains the Blue Temple, a structure whose walls once gleamed with imported azure plaster. Beneath it, scans show a cavern large enough to hold dozens of artifacts, yet excavation is stalled by the temple's instability. What makes Petra's secret so electrifying is their duality. This wasn't just a city, it was a living vault, its builders embedding codes into the very rock. The Nabateans left no written history, only whispers in stone alignments with stars, hidden symbols in carvings, chambers that resonate at specific frequencies. Every scan, every cautious dig, brings us closer to understanding why they went to such lengths to hide their world. Until then, Petra's deepest stories stay locked in the desert's embrace, waiting for the right key. Angkor Wat sprawls across the Cambodian jungle like a sandstone puzzle, its familiar spires just the tip of an architectural iceberg. While millions visit for the sunrise over its iconic towers, few realize the real secrets lie in the shadows of its corridors and beneath the surrounding forest floor. Recent LIDAR surveys have peeled back centuries of overgrowth, revealing an astonishing truth. Angkor Wat wasn't just a temple. It was the heart of a sprawling metropolis with submerged roads, hidden courtyards, and even entire satellite temples swallowed by time. One of the most startling discoveries, a vast network of underground channels and basins, perfectly aligned with the temple's orientation, suggesting a hydraulic system so advanced it rivals modern engineering. But the mysteries don't stop at water management. Look closer at the temple's bas-reliefs, and you'll notice something peculiar: subtle carvings tucked behind pillars or hidden in darkened alcoves, depicting scenes that don't match mainstream Khmer iconography. One panel, nearly invisible unless struck by midday light, shows a procession of figures carrying an object resembling a modern-day drone. Another, concealed in the gallery of 1,000 Buddhas, illustrates a celestial event, a swirling mass in the sky that some researchers interpret as a supernova or even a UFO. Were these artistic flourishes or coded messages left by the builders? The temple's alignment adds another layer of intrigue. Angkor Wat faces west, unusual for a Hindu temple dedicated to Vishnu, traditionally oriented eastward. Scholars long assumed this was a quirk of design until astrophysicists crunched the numbers. On the spring equinox, the sun rises directly over the central tower, casting a beam that illuminates a specific bas-relief of the creation myth. Even more strikingly, the entire complex mirrors the constellation Draco as it appeared in the year 10,500 BC, an alignment so precise it couldn't be accidental. Was Angkor Wat built as a cosmic time capsule, encoding astronomical knowledge from a forgotten epoch? LIDAR's revelations go deeper. Beneath the nearby jungle, scans uncovered the ruins of Mahendraparvata, a lost city predating Angkor Wat by centuries. Its grid-like streets and artificial reservoirs suggest the Khmer Empire's urban planning was far more sophisticated than we imagined. But the real shock came when researchers noticed something bizarre. The city's layout forms a perfect mandala, mirroring the sacred geometry of Angkor Wat itself. Were these sites part of a grand celestial blueprint designed to harness spiritual or even terrestrial energy? Then there's the enigma of the library buildings, long dismissed as repositories for scrolls. Excavations revealed these structures housed something far stranger: cylindrical pits lined with metal residue, possibly used for alchemical experiments or ritual metallurgy. Nearby, a sealed chamber yielded a trove of mercury, a substance linked to immortality myths across ancient cultures. Could the Khmer have been pursuing something beyond mere worship? The most haunting discovery lies in the temple's moat. Sonar imaging detected massive stone blocks arranged in concentric circles 30 feet below the surface, a submerged structure with no clear purpose. Some theorize it's a symbolic representation of the cosmic ocean from Hindu cosmology. Others whisper it's a drowned archive, deliberately sank to protect secrets too potent for the uninitiated. What makes Angkor Wat's mysteries so compelling is their duality. This isn't just a relic of the past, it's a living cipher. Its stones whispering of a civilization that viewed time, space, and divinity as interwoven threads. Every scan, every decoded carving pulls us deeper into the labyrinth. And as long as those jungle-shrouded ruins guard their secrets, the quest to unravel them will echo through the ages. Easter Island's iconic stone giants, the Moai, have stood guard over their remote Pacific home for centuries, but what lies beneath them might rewrite their story. While their solemn faces are instantly recognizable, few realize the statues aren't just heads. Excavations reveal most are attached to full-bodied torsos buried deep in the earth, some reaching down over 20 feet. Why would the Rapa Nui people carve such massive figures only to hide half of them underground? The answer might lie in the island's oral traditions, which speak of a labyrinth of tunnels crisscrossing the volcanic bedrock, chambers where ancestors' spirits supposedly dwelled. Recent ground-penetrating radar surveys have added fuel to the mystery. Beneath the famous Ahu Tongariki platform, scans detected hollow spaces extending far beyond the excavated areas, with geometric patterns suggesting human-made passages. One tunnel, aligned with the summer solstice sunrise, leads toward Rano Raraku, the volcanic quarry where most moai were carved. Locals whisper that these were roads of the gods, used by priests to commune with the unseen world. Even more intriguing are the petroglyphs found near these tunnels, depicting strange, elongated figures with large eyes, entities not matching any known Polynesian art style. Were these mere myths or clues to a deeper connection between the Moai and the island's subterranean secrets? The Rapa Nui's oral histories add another layer. Elders speak of Te Pito o Te Henua, the navel of the world, a sacred cave said to hold the island's creation energy. French explorer Francis Mazière claimed in the 1960s to have found an entrance near Rono Cow crater, describing walls lined with eerie, phosphorescent symbols before authorities sealed the site. Modern expeditions using LiDAR have since mapped unusual cavities beneath the crater's rim, their shapes too symmetrical to be natural. Could these be the remnants of ceremonial chambers or even storage vaults for the island's lost Rongorongo tablets, mysterious wooden artifacts inscribed with undeciphered glyphs? Then there's the enigma of the Moai's red stone hats or pukao. How did the Rapa Nui, with no wheels or large animals, hoist these multi-ton cylinders atop the statues? Some researchers propose an underground network of ramps, now collapsed, that allowed workers to roll them into place from hidden quarries. Others point to the statues' sunken bodies, suggesting the island itself was once higher, eroded over centuries, burying the Moai gradually. But if that's true, why do some torsos show deliberate chiseling below the waist, as if meant to be concealed? The most tantalizing clue might lie in the statue's alignment. Nearly all Moai face inland, watching over villages except for 7 at Ahuakivi, gazing outward toward the sea. These sentinel Moai mark the spot where, according to legend, the island's first king arrived from a sunken land. Beneath them, seismic surveys hint at a vast, water-filled cavern, its entrance possibly concealed by landslides. Could this be the gateway to Hiva, the Rapa Nui's ancestral homeland, said to lie beneath the waves? As erosion and rising tides eat away at Easter Island's shores, time is running out to uncover these buried truths. Every scan, every fragment of oral history, pulls us closer to understanding why the Rapa Nui invested such backbreaking labor into these stone sentinels. Were they mere monuments to power or guardians of something far older, something still hidden beneath the island's grassy hills? Until archaeologists can safely explore those rumored tunnels, the Moai will keep their secrets, silent as the ocean winds that shape them. Beneath the towering Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan lies a secret that's only begun to surface, a labyrinth of tunnels shimmering with something almost otherworldly. When archaeologists first discovered the hidden passageways beneath this ancient Mesoamerican metropolis, they expected to find relics of rituals or royal tombs. Instead, they stumbled upon pools of liquid mercury, a substance so rare and mystical in the ancient world that its presence here defies easy explanation. This wasn't just a ceremonial site, it was a carefully engineered underworld designed with precision that still baffles modern researchers. The tunnels themselves are a marvel. Stretching over 300 feet, the main passage beneath the pyramid descends into darkness, its walls coated in powdered pyrite that would have glittered like stars under torchlight. At its terminus lies a chamber filled with artifacts, jade statues, obsidian blades, and most puzzling of all, large quantities of liquid mercury. In ancient times, mercury was more precious than gold, painstakingly extracted from cinnabar ore and revered for its uncanny, mirror-like fluidity. The Aztecs, who later discovered Teotihuacan's ruins, believed mercury symbolized the blood of the gods, a substance capable of opening portals to the spirit world. But why stash it underground in such staggering quantities? One theory points to cosmology. Teotihuacan's layout mirrors the cosmos, with its streets and pyramids aligned to celestial events. The mercury pools, some argue, could have represented the underworld's rivers, mirroring the Milky Way above, a duality central to Mesoamerican belief. Others suggest a more practical use. The mercury's toxic vapors might have induced hallucinogenic states in priests, allowing them to communicate with deities during rituals. Then there's the wilder speculation: could it have been part of an ancient technology? Mercury's conductive properties were known even then, and some fringe researchers propose it powered unknown devices or even acted as a spiritual battery for the pyramid. The discoveries don't stop there. Recent excavations unearthed a trove of golden orbs in an adjacent tunnel, each perfectly spherical and nestled in clay boxes. Their purpose unknown, but their placement alongside miniature landscapes of mountains and lakes carved from greenstone hints at a ritual reenactment of creation myths. Even stranger are the magnetic anomalies detected in certain tunnel walls, suggesting the builders incorporated naturally magnetized stones to guide or disorient those who entered. Teotihuacan's builders left no written records, only these cryptic clues buried beneath their grandest monument. Whether the tunnels were a sacred replica of the underworld, a storehouse of esoteric knowledge, or something beyond our current understanding, one thing is clear: the Pyramid of the Sun wasn't just built to impress. It was designed to guard secrets that, even now, slip through our fingers like quicksilver. As long as those tunnels remain only partially explored, the true purpose of this ancient marvel will stay shrouded in mystery, waiting for the next breakthrough to bring it into the light. The Parthenon stands as a gleaming symbol of ancient Athens, but beneath its pristine marble facade, secrets lurk in plain sight. Most visitors admire its perfect proportions and intricate friezes without realizing the temple was never truly finished. Look closely at the columns, and you'll notice subtle grooves carved into their bases, unfinished details suggesting construction halted abruptly. Some historians believe these marks hint at hidden chambers or even hastily concealed treasures when Persian forces threatened the city. Others point to the temple's strange orientation, slightly off-axis from the Acropolis, as if aligning with a celestial event lost to history. Then there are the coded messages in the architecture. The Parthenon's famous optical illusions columns swelling slightly at the middle, floors curving imperceptibly, aren't just artistic flourishes. Researchers now suspect these refinements encoded mathematical constants like the golden ratio, knowledge supposedly unknown to the Greeks at the time. Even more intriguing are the secret carvings, tiny owl motifs tucked behind column capitals, visible only at certain times of day. In Athenian lore, owls symbolized Athena's wisdom. Were these hidden symbols meant to guard sacred knowledge? But the greatest enigma lies beneath the temple. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed anomalies in the bedrock rectangular voids that mirror the layout of the Erechtheion, a neighboring shrine rumored to house Athena's cult statue. Could these be storage vaults for the Parthenon's legendary treasures? Ancient accounts describe a hoard of gold and ivory artifacts, including a 12-meter-tall statue of Athena Parthenos adorned with a ton of pure gold plating. When Rome sacked Athens, the statue vanished without a trace. Some theorists believe it was dismantled and hidden in subterranean chambers beneath the Acropolis, sealed behind false walls. The temple's survival through earthquakes and wars only deepens the mystery. In 1687, a Venetian cannon blast ignited Ottoman gunpowder stored inside, reducing the Parthenon to ruins, yet the central cella remained eerily intact. Modern engineers can't fully explain its resilience. Was it reinforced with materials we've yet to identify, or does its stability hint at hidden support structures below ground? Perhaps the most tantalizing clue is the Parthenon's missing metopes. These sculpted panels depicting mythical battles were deliberately defaced in antiquity. But recent laser scans reveal something startling. Beneath the vandalism lie faint traces of pigment, not just paint but gold leaf. Were the metopes originally gilded, their wealth prompting later rulers to erase them? Or did they conceal coded maps like the lost labyrinth said to lie beneath Athens? For all its fame, the Parthenon guards its secrets as fiercely as Athena guarded her city. Every scan, every weathering pattern whispers of layers we've barely begun to peel back. Whether it's hidden chambers, stolen gold, or encoded wisdom from a forgotten age, one thing is certain. This monument's true story is still waiting in the shadows, just beyond the reach of the noonday sun. Deep beneath the towering steps of Chichen Itza's El Castillo pyramid lies a world few have seen. A maze of submerged caves and sacred cenotes that the Maya believed were gateways to the underworld. These water-filled sinkholes weren't just sources of fresh water. They were portals to Xibalba, the realm of the gods, where rituals unfolded in the echoing darkness. Recent sonar scans have revealed something astonishing. A vast network of interconnected tunnels running like veins beneath the ruins, some leading directly under the pyramid's foundation. Could these flooded passageways hold the key to understanding why the Maya built their grandest city above such treacherous terrain? The most infamous of these cenotes, the sacred cenote, has yielded chilling clues. Early 20th century dredging operations recovered gold artifacts, jade masks, and most hauntingly, the bones of over 200 individuals, many children. Archaeologists long assumed these were sacrificial offerings to the rain god Chok, but newer discoveries complicate that theory. Divers exploring adjacent caves found ceramic vessels sealed with bitumen, their interiors containing traces of hallucinogenic substances. This suggests the cenotes weren't just sites of death, but of transformation, places where priests ingested sacred brews to commune with spirits in the watery depths. Then there's the mystery of the hidden cenote. In 2018, ground-penetrating radar detected a previously unknown water-filled cavity directly beneath El Castillo's central stairway. Its entrance, now collapsed, aligns with the pyramid's shadow during the spring equinox, the same moment the serpent god Kukulkan appears to slither down the temple steps. Mexican archaeologists have theorized this cenote could be the legendary cenote of the moon, described in colonial-era texts as a place where kings underwent ritual rebirth. But with the chamber's unstable walls preventing full exploration, its contents remain a tantalizing enigma. The real breakthrough came when divers mapping the Sistema Sac Act uncave system discovered submerged Mayan artifacts miles from Chichen Itza pottery, tools, and even a ceremonial staircase leading into the abyss. These findings hint at an underground highway linking multiple sacred sites, a notion supported by Mayan glyphs depicting processions through watery tunnels. Some researchers speculate these passages could lead to undiscovered chambers beneath the city's core, perhaps even the rumored tomb of the mythic ruler Topoltzin Quetzalcoatl. What makes these underwater labyrinths so captivating is their duality. The Maya saw caves as both wombs and tombs, places of creation and dissolution. The cenote's crystalline waters mirror the night sky in their stillness, turning each dive into a journey through the cosmos. Until technology allows us to safely navigate these fragile, flooded corridors, Chichen Itza's deepest secrets will remain suspended in liquid time, waiting for the day the gods decide to surface. The Colosseum's towering stone walls have witnessed centuries of blood, spectacle, and history, but the real drama unfolded beneath the sand-covered arena floor. Hidden below those iconic arches lies the hypogeum, a labyrinth of tunnels, cages, and elevators so advanced, it functioned like a backstage for ancient Rome's deadliest performances. Recent restoration work has peeled back layers of grime and debris, revealing engineering feats that challenge our understanding of Roman ingenuity. The hypogeum wasn't just a storage area, it was a meticulously designed machine for creating awe. Trapdoors, pulley systems, and even hidden aqueducts allowed gladiators, wild beasts, and stage props to erupt into the arena, as if by magic, fueling legends that some passages stretched far beyond the Colosseum itself. One of the most startling discoveries came in 2021, when laser scans exposed a series of narrow, branching tunnels beneath the hypogeum's main corridors. These weren't on any known architectural plans. Some lead toward the nearby Ludus Magnus, the gladiators' training school, suggesting fighters could move unseen between practice and performance. Others dead end abruptly, their purpose unclear, though historians speculate they might have been escape routes or clandestine pathways for emperors to enter unnoticed. The real revelation, however, was a massive circular chamber beneath the arena's center, its walls lined with iron hooks and grooves. Could this have been a waiting room for condemned prisoners or a staging area for the Colosseum's most infamous spectacles, naval battles? Ancient texts describe the arena flooding for mock sea fights, but how Romans drained millions of gallons so quickly remained a mystery until now. The chamber's drainage channels linked to the city's sewer system suggest an aquatic engineering marvel far ahead of its time. Then there are the whispers of hidden treasure. During medieval times, the Colosseum became a fortress for the Frangipani family, who allegedly looted its underground for gold and artifacts. Modern archaeologists have found traces of lead pipes and metal plates embedded in the hypogeum's walls, some bearing cryptic markings resembling celestial maps. Were these part of an ancient lighting system or something more esoteric? Even stranger are the accounts of 18th-century explorers who claimed to find a sealed vault beneath the arena, its contents hastily removed. Local folklore speaks of a golden bull, a statue rumored to be hidden somewhere in the bowels of the Colosseum, though no such artifact has ever surfaced. The restoration work has also shed light on the hypogeum's darker roles. Infrared imaging detected faint graffiti on the tunnel walls, names, prayers, and even tallies scratched by gladiators awaiting their fate. In one niche, researchers uncovered a small altar to Nemesis, the goddess of vengeance, its surface stained with what might be ancient blood residue. These intimate details humanize the hypogeum, transforming it from a mere structural feature into a stage for raw fear and hope. But perhaps the most tantalizing theory involves the Colosseum's acoustics. Recent studies show the hypogeum's arches and chambers amplify certain frequencies, creating eerie echoes. Some scholars believe this was intentional, a way to project the sounds of roaring animals or clashing swords across the arena, heightening the drama. Others go further, suggesting the tunnels were designed to channel voices, allowing emperors or priests to issue divine commands that seem to emanate from the air itself. As restoration continues, layer by layer, the Colosseum refuses to surrender all its secrets. Every cleaned stone, every scanned corridor reveals just enough to keep us questioning. What else lies buried in those shadowed passages? Forgotten artifacts, lost engineering blueprints, or perhaps echoes of the cheers and screams that once shook the ancient world, still lingering in the dust. One thing is certain, the hypogeum was more than a basement. It was the beating heart of Rome's greatest stage, and its deepest mysteries might still be waiting in the wings. Buried deep beneath the rolling hills of China's Shaanxi province, the Terracotta Army stands as one of archaeology's most electrifying puzzles. a silent legion guarding secrets far older than the 8,000 clay soldiers themselves. While these life-sized warriors have captivated the world since their accidental discovery in 1974, few realize they're merely the outer sentinels of a sprawling necropolis, most of which remains untouched. At the heart of this complex lies the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, a burial chamber so enigmatic that even with today's technology, scientists hesitate to breach its walls. Ancient texts describe it as a microcosm of the emperor's empire, complete with rivers of liquid mercury meant to mirror the Yangtze and Yellow rivers, a claim modern tests have shockingly confirmed. Ground-penetrating radar surveys reveal staggering mercury concentrations in the soil around the tomb's central mound, matching historical accounts nearly verbatim. But the real surprise came when drones equipped with thermal imaging captured temperature anomalies in the surrounding Earth, suggesting vast underground chambers with climate control systems that somehow remain functional after 22 centuries. Some researchers theorize these could be part of an elaborate preservation mechanism, while others whisper of booby traps, crossbows rigged to fire at intruders as described in Han Dynasty writings. The danger isn't just speculation. Soil samples show unusually high levels of toxic heavy metals, making excavation a literal gamble with death. Then there's the tomb's celestial alignment. The entire complex faces east toward Mount Lai, with the Terracotta Army positioned as if marching from the afterlife to defend their ruler. Satellite imaging reveals a network of undiscovered pits radiating outward, some containing bronze chariots, others holding the remains of sacrificed concubines and craftsmen meant to serve the emperor in eternity. But the most tantalizing mystery lies in the tomb's construction. According to Sima Qian, China's ancient historian, the ceiling was inlaid with pearls to mimic the night sky, while the floor mapped Qin's conquered territories with scaled models. If true, this would make the tomb not just a burial site, but a metaphysical bridge between heaven and earth. So why hasn't the main tomb been opened? Beyond the physical risks, there's the ethical dilemma. The acidic soil and fluctuating humidity inside could reduce priceless artifacts to dust upon exposure, as seen in nearby pits where pigments on terracotta figures flaked away within minutes of contact with air. Chinese authorities have adopted a dig only when necessary policy, prioritizing non-invasive scans until technology catches up to the challenge. But perhaps the greatest deterrent is cultural, the enduring belief that disturbing an emperor's eternal rest invites catastrophe. Local farmers still speak of eerie lights hovering over the tomb at night, whispers on the wind that stop abruptly when approached. The Terracotta Army's true purpose might be more than ceremonial. Recent excavations uncovered clay figures not of soldiers, but acrobats, bureaucrats, and musicians, a cross-section of Qin's empire frozen in time. This suggests the tomb complex wasn't just a show of power, but an attempt to recreate an entire society underground. With each new scan, the scale of Qin's ambition becomes clearer. His tomb isn't a grave, it's a time capsule, a declaration that even in death he would rule. Until science can guarantee the preservation of whatever lies beneath that mercury-laced mound, the first emperor's greatest treasures will remain locked away, guarded by his silent army and the weight of 2 millennia's secrets. Göbekli Tepe shatters everything we thought we knew about the dawn of civilization. This sprawling complex of carved limestone pillars, dating back over 11,000 years, predates Stonehenge by 6 millennia and the pyramids by 7. Yet its sophistication, precise geometric layouts, intricate animal reliefs, and multi-ton megaliths suggest a level of organization that shouldn't exist in what textbooks call the primitive hunter-gatherer era. The real shock, we've likely only uncovered a fraction of its secrets. The site's most baffling feature isn't what's above ground, it's what lies beneath. Archaeologists have excavated 4 circular enclosures, each with towering T-shaped pillars adorned with foxes, scorpions, and vultures, but geomagnetic surveys reveal at least 20 more structures still buried. Even more startling, the older layers appear to be the most advanced. The deepest enclosures, carved during the earliest phase of construction, showcase finer craftsmanship and more complex symbolism than later additions. This flips conventional logic on its head. Instead of evolving toward sophistication, Göbekli Tepe's builders seem to have lost knowledge over time. Why? Then there's the mystery of intentional burial. Around 8000 BC, someone meticulously covered the entire site with thousands of tons of soil, preserving it like a time capsule. This wasn't erosion or neglect. The filled dirt was carefully layered, almost reverently. Some researchers believe the burial was ritualistic, a way to retire the sacred ground. Others speculate it hid something too dangerous or sacred to leave exposed. Recent ground-penetrating radar detected a series of rectangular chambers beneath the lowest excavated level, their walls oddly smooth compared to the rough-hewn pillars above. Could these be storage vaults for artifacts or even older, unknown structures from a forgotten culture? The pillars themselves are enigmas carved in stone. Weighing up to 20 tons, they were quarried from bedrock hundreds of meters away, a feat requiring coordination and labor that hunter-gatherers supposedly couldn't muster. Even stranger, many pillars appear to represent humanoid figures with belts and loincloths, their arms carved in relief as if holding something. Yet no tools, no settlements, no evidence of agriculture have been found nearby. Who were these people, and what compelled them to invest generations in building a site with no clear residential purpose? Theories abound. Some argue Göbekli Tepe was an astronomical observatory with pillars aligned to Sirius or the Pleiades. Others see it as a pilgrimage site, its animal carvings warning of an ecological crisis like the Younger Dryas climate catastrophe, the wildest possibility. That it's the remnant of a lost pre-agricultural civilization, one advanced enough to quarry and transport megaliths but which left no other trace. What makes Göbekli Tepe uniquely tantalizing is its defiance of categorization. This isn't just a temple or a tomb, it's a puzzle box from a time before writing, before cities, before what we consider history began. Every excavated layer peels back another question. Until we uncover those buried enclosures or decipher the meaning behind its eerie sculptures, the world's oldest known megalithic site will keep its secrets, whispering from the shadows of our forgotten past. Stretching across Peru's arid Nazca Desert, the massive geoglyphs known as the Nazca Lines have puzzled researchers for decades. These enormous drawings, some stretching over 600 feet, depict everything from spiders and hummingbirds to geometric shapes so precise they seem to defy their ancient origins. But what if the real secret of the Nazca isn't just what's on the surface, but what lies beneath? Recent drone surveys have uncovered previously hidden lines, invisible from ground level, hinting at an even larger network of symbols. And beneath those, archaeologists are beginning to suspect something far more practical and astonishing than art for art's sake. The desert floor here isn't just a canvas, it's porous. For centuries, locals have spoken of underground aqueducts called puquios, twisting like veins beneath the glyphs. These aren't just myths. Satellite imaging and ground-penetrating radar have mapped extensive channels, some running directly beneath the largest geoglyphs. The theory, the Nazca people might have used these lines as markers for a vast hidden water system, directing flow in a land where rain almost never falls. Some researchers even suggest the shapes themselves, like the famous whale or tree, could represent water deities, a plea to the gods for life-sustaining moisture. But the real breakthrough came when drones equipped with lidar revealed something startling, new lines etched so faintly they'd been erased by time. These fresh discoveries don't just add to the collection, they intersect with known geoglyphs at precise angles, forming a grid-like pattern. Could this be a map, a blueprint pointing to underground reservoirs or chambers yet to be uncovered? One team believes so. In 2022, thermal imaging near the astronaut glyph detected subsurface temperature anomalies, signaling hollow spaces beneath. Excavation is slow. The desert's fragile crust makes digging risky, but early probes have unearthed ceramic shards and even remnants of rope, possibly tools used to plot these colossal designs. The most compelling evidence lies in the lines themselves. Many follow fault lines in the earth, places where water would naturally collect. The Nazca may have been hydraulic engineers using these faults to channel water to their settlements. And here's where it gets eerie. Some glyphs, like the spiral-tailed monkey, align perfectly with underground springs. Coincidence or a deliberate code, a way to pass down survival knowledge across generations without a written language. Then there's the enigma of the Pyramid of Giza, a nearby ceremonial center. Beneath its crumbling adobe walls, sonar has revealed a labyrinth of tunnels, some flooded, others lined with strange mineral deposits. These passages mirror the directions of certain lines, as if the desert above and the underworld below were mirror images, one a map, the other a reality. What does it all mean? The Nazca lines might be more than art or astronomy. They could be the world's oldest irrigation manual, a sacred text written in earth and stone. Or perhaps they mark doorways, physical or spiritual, to a hidden water world beneath the sand. Until we dig deeper, quite literally, these desert whispers will remain half-heard, teasing us with the possibility that the Nazca's greatest masterpiece isn't on the surface at all, but buried, waiting to quench our curiosity. The treasury of Petra isn't just a marvel of ancient architecture, it's a riddle carved directly into rose-colored rock. That towering, intricately detailed facade, immortalized in films and photographs, is only the beginning of the story. Behind its ornate columns and mythic figures lies a mystery that's taunted explorers for centuries. Sealed chambers, untouched and unopened, their contents known only to the Nabateans who built them over 2,000 years ago. Modern archaeologists face a dilemma. How do you uncover the secrets of a sacred space without destroying the very thing you're trying to study? For decades, the treasury's interior was thought to be a single, empty chamber, until ground-penetrating radar revealed the truth. Hidden behind the back wall lies a network of smaller rooms, their dimensions precise, their purpose unknown. Some theorize these were royal tombs, their treasures looted long ago. Others believe they held sacred scrolls or ritual objects, sealed away when Petra fell to the Romans. The most tantalizing clue, a vertical shaft descending from the main chamber, its bottom obscured by centuries of accumulated debris. Could this be an escape route, a ceremonial well, or even a passage to the rumored tunnels beneath the city? Technology is slowly peeling back the layers without laying a finger on the stone. In 2019, a team of researchers used 3D laser scanning to map every inch of the interior, uncovering something startling: delicate carvings hidden in shadowed alcoves, invisible to the naked eye. These aren't decorative flourishes, they're symbols, a mix of Nabatean and Hellenistic motifs, suggesting the treasury wasn't just a tomb or temple, but a cultural crossroads. One symbol, a series of interconnected circles, matches patterns found in distant Mesopotamian sites, hinting at trade routes or shared beliefs we've yet to fully understand. But the real breakthrough came with muon radiography, a technique that uses cosmic rays to see through solid rock. Early results detected metallic anomalies in the sealed chambers, possibly ritual vessels, weapons, or even the fabled gold the Nabateans were said to have hoarded. The challenge now is interpretation. Without physical access, researchers rely on echoes, shadows, and probabilities. Is that cluster of dense material a pile of coins or a collapsed bronze statue? The data teases but doesn't confirm. Local legends add another layer to the intrigue. Bedouin oral histories speak of a hidden chamber beneath the treasury's floor, where a king's sarcophagus lies surrounded by liquid light, a substance described as shimmering like mercury but cold to the touch. Modern scans have indeed identified a subterranean cavity, but its contents remain a mystery. the Nabateans were master hydrologists capable of engineering complex water systems. Could this chamber be part of a hidden cistern or something more ceremonial? The greatest obstacle isn't just the physical barriers, it's preservation. The treasury's sandstone is fragile, susceptible to erosion from wind, water, and even human breath. Every attempt to explore risks damage, forcing archaeologists to balance curiosity with conservation. For now, the sealed chambers remain closed, their secrets locked away. But with each technological leap, we inch closer to answers. Whether those answers reveal treasure, forgotten history, or simply more questions, one thing is certain: the treasury's beauty is just the surface. The real story is still waiting in the dark. The towering stone walls of Great Zimbabwe rise from the African savanna like a mirage, a city built without mortar, its curved enclosures and conical towers standing as a testament to a civilization that once dominated trade routes stretching from the Indian Ocean to the heart of Africa. But behind these imposing ruins lies a puzzle that's baffled archaeologists for generations. Who built this metropolis, and why was it abandoned so abruptly? The answer might lie not in the grand structures above ground, but in the labyrinth of hidden passages snaking beneath them. Recent ground-penetrating radar surveys have revealed a network of tunnels radiating from the hill complex, the oldest part of the city. Some lead to underground chambers lined with strange, soot-blackened stones, possible sites of rituals or metalworking. Others connect to the valley enclosures where merchants and dignitaries once gathered. The most tantalizing tunnel, however, runs eastward toward the remains of a massive gold smelting furnace. This isn't just a passageway, it's a clue. Great Zimbabwe was the epicenter of a gold trade so vast, its wealth drew merchants from as far away as Persia and China. But where did all that gold go? Theories abound. Some scholars point to the ruins of a fortress-like structure near the tunnels, its walls embedded with flecks of gold dust. Could this have been a royal vault, its contents looted centuries ago? Others speculate the tunnels were escape routes, used when the city faced invasion or internal collapse. Then there's the more controversial idea that the tunnels link Great Zimbabwe to Sofala, a legendary port city on the Mozambican coast, where gold was traded for glass beads and Chinese porcelain. Archaeologists have found fragments of these goods in the ruins, but no one knows how deep the connections truly ran. The enigma deepens with the discovery of artifacts that defy easy explanation. In one tunnel, researchers uncovered a carved soapstone bird perched atop a zigzagging pillar, a symbol found nowhere else in Africa, but eerily similar to motifs from ancient Mesopotamia. Nearby, a cache of Persian glassware and Arab coins suggests a web of trade far more extensive than previously imagined. Was Great Zimbabwe merely a hub, or did its rulers wield influence across oceans? The ruins' alignment adds another layer of mystery. The great enclosure's main gate points precisely toward the rising sun during the summer solstice, a detail that hints at sophisticated astronomical knowledge. But perhaps the greatest question is why such a powerful city was abandoned. Soil samples tell a grim story of deforestation and drought, but they don't explain the absence of human remains or the orderly way artifacts were left behind, as if the inhabitants planned to return. Oral traditions speak of a great dispersal, a time when the people scattered to the winds, taking their secrets with them. Today, the stones of Great Zimbabwe whisper fragments of a grander narrative. Whether it was a gold-rich kingdom, a crossroads of civilizations, or something more mystical, one truth remains: this city was never meant to be forgotten. Its tunnels, its artifacts, and its unanswered questions are a challenge, an invitation to look deeper, to uncover the stories still buried beneath the weight of centuries. And until we do, the legacy of Africa's greatest stone city will linger half-told in the shadows of its ruins. Mohenjo-Daro stands frozen in time, a meticulously planned metropolis from the ancient Indus Valley, where streets lay in perfect grid lines and houses boasted advanced drainage systems centuries ahead of their time. But beneath this apparent order, something unsettling lingers. The city's most iconic structure, the so-called Great Bath, dominates the ruins, a massive, watertight pool lined with bitumen, flanked by rooms that hint at rituals we can only guess at. No inscriptions, no artwork, no clear purpose, just silence, and that's the real mystery. Why would a civilization capable of urban perfection leave so little behind to explain itself? Recent ground scans have peeled back the layers of this enigma, revealing anomalies beneath the bath's foundations, rectangular voids too symmetrical to be natural. Some archaeologists believe these could be water tanks or reservoirs, part of a hydraulic system rivaling Rome's. Others point to the bath's alignment with celestial events, suggesting it might have been an astronomical observatory disguised as a ritual space. The most provocative theory, that the bath was the heart of a larger subterranean complex, possibly linked by tunnels to other key structures. Excavations in the 1920s uncovered strange, well-like shafts in the city's lower levels, their bottoms filled with ash and charred debris. Were these ancient incinerators or evidence of something more catastrophic? The city's uniformity only deepens the intrigue. Unlike contemporary civilizations, Mohenjo-Daro shows no signs of palaces or temples, no obvious seats of power. Instead, its architecture whispers of equality, with nearly identical brick houses and public wells distributed evenly across neighborhoods. But if there were no rulers who orchestrated such precision? And why does the city's western edge abruptly sink into the earth, as if swallowed by some long-forgotten engineering experiment? Then there's the eerie absence of graves. For a city that thrived for centuries, Mohenjo-Daro's burial sites are conspicuously scarce. Some researchers propose that the Indus people practiced sky burials, exposing their dead to the elements. Others wonder if the missing bodies are tied to the city's most haunting enigma, the scattered skeletons found in its streets. These aren't orderly burials, but chaotic clusters, families huddled together, their bones bearing no marks of violence, yet frozen in poses of sudden distress. Early excavators dubbed it the massacre layer, but modern science tells a different story. Soil samples reveal traces of extreme heat and radiation, sparking wild theories from ancient warfare to cosmic events. The truth, we still don't know. The most tantalizing clues might lie in the city's smallest artifacts. Tiny soapstone seals etched with unreadable script and images of mythical beasts hint at a lost language and belief system. One recurring motif, a horned figure surrounded by animals, bears an uncanny resemblance to later Hindu depictions of Shiva, suggesting cultural threads stretching millennia into the future. Yet without Rosetta Stone-like breakthroughs, their messages remain locked in symbolism. Technology offers slim hope. Recent LiDAR surveys have mapped previously unnoticed mounds beyond the city's periphery, possibly satellite settlements or even extensions of Mohenjo-Daro itself. Meanwhile, moisture sensors detected odd fluctuations beneath the citadel mound, hinting at chambers untouched since the city's abandonment. But excavation is a delicate dance here. The same groundwater that preserved the bricks for 4,000 years now threatens to dissolve them upon exposure. What emerges from the silence of Mohenjo-Daro is a portrait of a civilization both brilliantly pragmatic and profoundly mysterious. They mastered urban planning, metallurgy, and hydraulics, yet left no monuments to kings, no chronicles of conquest. Their greatest legacy might be the questions they force us to ask. Was this a utopia snuffed out by climate change? A theocracy disguised as equality, or something else entirely, a society so alien to our frameworks of power and religion that we're still learning how to see it? Until those underground whispers are fully heard, the city's secrets will linger like the morning mist over its ancient bricks, visible but just out of reach. The Temple of Karnak doesn't just dominate the landscape of ancient Thebes, it conceals layer upon layer of untold stories within its towering columns and sprawling courtyards. While visitors marvel at the grandeur of its hypostyle hall, few realize the true secrets lie etched in shadowed corners and buried beneath centuries of sand. Recent infrared imaging has exposed something astonishing: hidden inscriptions covering walls that were thought to be blank, their faded ink visible only under specific wavelengths of light. These aren't random graffiti, they're meticulous records, ritual instructions, star charts, even inventories of treasures long since vanished. One chamber, concealed behind the third pylon, bears a cryptic diagram of a ceremonial procession, its participants carrying an object too carefully obscured by time to identify. Was this the lost Book of Thoth, a mythical text rumored to hold divine knowledge, or evidence of a ritual so secret even the temple's own priests dared not speak of it openly? Beneath the temple's flagstone floors, the mysteries multiply. Ground-penetrating radar has mapped a honeycomb of chambers and tunnels, some leading toward the nearby Nile, others descending into utter darkness. The most tantalizing of these lies beneath the sacred lake, where scans detected a rectangular void roughly the size of a royal burial chamber. Egyptian archaeologists have theorized it could be a cache of ritual barges or even a submerged archive, but the lake's sacred status has stalled excavation. Local legends add fuel to the speculation, speaking of a golden serpent statue hidden in these waters, its eyes set with gemstones that glow under moonlight. Modern divers have yet to find it, but they have discovered something just as intriguing: stone anchors and ceramic jars, their seals still intact, resting in the silt as if placed there yesterday. The temple's alignment tells another story. Karnak wasn't just a religious center, it was a cosmic clock. During the winter solstice, sunlight pierces through the temple's axis, illuminating the inner sanctum of Amun-Ra. But in 2018, researchers noticed a second alignment, a narrow shaft in the Temple of Ptah that frames the star Sirius precisely every 1461 years, the duration of the ancient Sothic cycle, tied to the flooding of the Nile. This precision wasn't accidental. It suggests the priests of Karnak didn't merely worship the gods, they tracked time itself, weaving celestial patterns into the very stones. Perhaps the most provocative discovery came when a team restoring the ninth pylon uncovered a sealed niche behind a false wall. Inside lay a bundle of papyri, their contents detailing a previously unknown festival called the Night of Teardrops, where statues of gods were ritually wept upon to ensure the Nile's flood. But one passage stood out, a warning about a black basin hidden beneath the temple, its waters capable of revealing what the gods conceal. No such artifact has been found, yet scans near the Akhmenu chapel reveal an anomaly, a circular depression in the bedrock, its sides too smooth to be natural. Karnak's greatest secret might be its sheer ambition. This wasn't just a temple, it was a living machine designed to harness the divine. Every hidden inscription, every buried chamber, whispers of a priesthood that saw no boundary between earth and heaven. And until those last sealed corridors are opened, their full purpose will remain as enigmatic as the gods they sought to command. The hanging gardens of Babylon linger in our imagination, a paradise of terraced greenery, an engineering marvel said to have towered over the Mesopotamian desert. But here's the twist: no physical trace of them has ever been found. Ancient texts like those of Greek historians Strabo and Diodorus Siculus describe lush, irrigated gardens built by King Nebuchadnezzar II to soothe his homesick queen. Yet Babylonian records from that era remain eerily silent, as if the gardens were a myth spun from whispers. Could this legendary wonder have been real, or was it an ancient traveler's tall tale? The answer might lie buried beneath the sands of modern-day Iraq, where centuries of conflict and erosion have kept its secrets just out of reach. One theory points to the ruins of Babylon itself, near present-day Hilla. 19th century archaeologists scoured Nebuchadnezzar's palace complex, uncovering intricate brickwork and vaulted chambers that some believe could have supported the garden's weight. The problem: no definitive evidence, no carvings, no irrigation systems, nothing that screams hanging garden. But recent satellite imagery reveals anomalies in the soil, patterns of moisture and sediment that align with descriptions of the garden's elaborate water-lifting mechanisms. Could these be the ghostly outlines of long-rotted aqueducts or reservoirs, now collapsed and forgotten? Another tantalizing possibility emerges from the ancient city of Nineveh near Mosul. Assyrian texts describe King Sennacherib's unrivaled palace, with terraced gardens fed by an intricate system of canals and screws, details that match the hanging garden's lore more closely than Babylon's. Even more compelling, a bas-relief from Sennacherib's reign depicts a lush, tiered garden irrigated by an Archimedes-like screw centuries before Archimedes allegedly invented it. Could history have conflated two kings, two cities, two wonders? Then there's the wild card: the gardens might not have hung at all. The Greek word kremastos can also mean overhanging, suggesting the greenery might have cascaded from rooftops or ziggurat terraces rather than dangling from vertical structures. Excavations in Babylon's older districts reveal massive elevated platforms, their surfaces pocked with planters' indentations. Were these the garden's bones, their verdant glory long since crumbled to dust? The most provocative clue comes from an unlikely source: a tablet unearthed in the 1950s. Its cuneiform script detailing a royal garden with exotic trees borne aloft. The tablet places it in Babylon but describes features eerily absent from Nebuchadnezzar's known projects. Some scholars argue this could be a smoking gun, while others dismiss it as poetic license. Until someone digs deeper, literally, the hanging gardens will remain archaeology's most beautiful mirage. Whether they bloomed in Babylon, Nineveh, or nowhere at all, their legacy endures, a testament to humanity's longing to carve Eden from the desert. And somewhere beneath Iraq's war-torn soil, the truth may still be rooted, waiting for the right hands to unearth it. Beneath the golden sands of Egypt, beyond the pyramids and the temples, whispers persist of a wonder lost to time, an underground labyrinth so vast, so intricate, that ancient historians swore it rivaled the greatest monuments of the ancient world. Greek historian Herodotus described it in awe during his travels, writing of 3,000 chambers half above ground, half below, connected by winding passageways so bewildering that no one could navigate them without a guide. Pliny the Elder called it the most extraordinary achievement of human ingenuity, while Strabo claimed its walls were covered in hieroglyphs telling stories too sacred to speak aloud. Today, not a single stone of this labyrinth remains visible. Or does it? For centuries, scholars dismissed these accounts as exaggerations until modern technology began peeling back the desert's layers. Ground-penetrating radar surveys near Hawara, just south of Cairo, revealed a startling grid of underground chambers beneath what was once the site of Amenemhat III's pyramid complex. The scans show a sprawling network of corridors and rooms, some lined with limestone, others filled with water. The dimensions match ancient descriptions almost eerily. Could this be the legendary labyrinth's ghost, buried by centuries of silt and shifting sands? The most compelling evidence comes from a 2012 expedition by the Mataha Project, a team of Belgian and Egyptian researchers. Their scans detected a colossal, man-made structure beneath the Fayum Depression, a subterranean complex covering an area larger than 5 football fields, its walls arranged in precise geometric patterns. Local legends speak of a city beneath the sand, a repository of knowledge where priests stored sacred texts and artifacts from Egypt's deepest past. Some even claim it held the original Hall of Records, a library of wisdom predating the pharaohs themselves. But why was such a monumental structure buried? Some theorize it was intentional, a way to protect its secrets from invaders or the uninitiated. Others point to natural disasters. Seismic activity in the region could have collapsed entire sections, sealing chambers forever. The most haunting possibility: the labyrinth was never meant to be found again. Ancient texts hint at curses placed on those who disturbed certain tombs, and the labyrinth's association with the crocodile god Sobek, a deity of chaos and rebirth, suggests it might have been designed as a boundary between the living and the dead. The search today is as much about technology as archaeology. Robots equipped with cameras have probed narrow shafts near Hawara, revealing tantalizing glimpses: carved lintels, waterlogged staircases, even traces of gold leaf clinging to submerged walls. Yet the Egyptian government has hesitated to authorize large-scale digs, citing preservation concerns and the labyrinth's potential fragility. What secrets might still lie hidden in those flooded corridors? Could they hold lost gospels, maps of forgotten lands, or even evidence of technologies we've yet to comprehend? Until the sands part fully, the labyrinth remains a riddle wrapped in stone and silence, a testament to the ancients' obsession with guarding their deepest truths. Whether it was a temple, a tomb, or something far stranger, one thing is certain: if the legends are true, its rediscovery could rewrite history. And until then, the desert keeps its silence as it has for millennia. Deep beneath the sun-baked plains of Cappadocia, a hidden world waits in silence, an entire city carved from volcanic rock, stretching hundreds of feet underground. Derinkuyu isn't just a cluster of caves, it's an engineering marvel, a labyrinth of tunnels, ventilation shafts, and multi-level living spaces capable of sheltering 20,000 people for months at a time. Discovered in 1963 when a local homeowner knocked down a wall and stumbled into a tunnel, this subterranean metropolis raises one glaring question: why would an ancient society invest generations digging such an elaborate refuge? The answer might lie in Cappadocia's turbulent history. Built between the 7th and 8th centuries BC, Derinkuyu's deepest levels plunge nearly 300 feet, with massive stone doors that could seal entire sections from invaders. Each floor served a distinct purpose: stables for livestock, wineries, chapels with frescoed ceilings, even a cruciform church carved into the rock. But the most striking feature isn't its scale, it's the precision. Ventilation shafts snake upward to the surface, ensuring fresh air even at the lowest levels, while wells tapped into underground rivers provided water without revealing the city's location. This wasn't just a hiding place, it was a self-sustaining fortress designed to outlast sieges. Yet mysteries linger in the unexplored tunnels. Recent scans reveal passages branching beyond the mapped areas, some leading toward neighboring underground cities like Kamakli, 8 miles away. Locals whisper of a vast network connecting hundreds of subterranean settlements across Cappadocia, though only a fraction have been excavated. The most tantalizing theory: that these tunnels weren't just escape routes, they were part of a clandestine trade or communication system, allowing early Christians to evade Roman persecution or Byzantine rebels to coordinate resistance. Even more puzzling are the artifacts found in sealed chambers: Hittite-era pottery, Byzantine coins, and most intriguing Syrian-style oil lamps, suggesting cultural exchange or refugees from distant conflicts. Some tunnels abruptly dead-end, their walls scorched, as if someone deliberately collapsed them to conceal something. Archaeologists suspect Derinkuyu's builders might have repurposed even older structures, perhaps dating back to the Bronze Age, layering new secrets atop old ones. The greatest enigma, though, is how such a colossal project stayed hidden for so long. Unlike pyramids or temples, Derinkuyu left no boastful inscriptions, no royal decrees. Its existence was an open secret among locals for centuries, yet outsiders remained oblivious until modern tools could confirm its scale. Was this intentional? A city designed to be forgotten until needed. Today, only 10% of Derinkuyu is accessible to visitors. The rest remains sealed, protected by unstable rock and the cautious hand of preservation. What lies in those uncharted corridors, forgotten armories, lost religious relics, or perhaps clues to why humanity keeps burying its greatest achievements, only to rediscover them when the world needs reminding that even in darkness, ingenuity finds a way? The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus was once a marvel so magnificent, it earned a place among the 7 wonders of the ancient world. A sprawling complex of marble columns, gilded statues, and sacred groves that drew pilgrims from across the Mediterranean. Today, all that stands in its place is a single reconstructed column, rising from a swampy field near the Turkish town of Selçuk, but don't let its meager remains fool you. Beneath the modern streets and waterlogged soil, the ghosts of this legendary temple may still hold secrets waiting to surface. What made the Temple of Artemis so extraordinary wasn't just its scale, though it was 4 times larger than the Parthenon, but its role as a religious, economic, and even political powerhouse. Ancient accounts describe walls adorned with priceless paintings, altars groaning under offerings of ivory and gold, and a cult statue of Artemis so revered that its likeness was copied for centuries. Yet after being destroyed and rebuilt multiple times, the final blow came in the 3rd century when Gothic raiders sacked the temple, carting off its treasures and leaving the ruins to sink into oblivion. Modern archaeologists face a unique challenge here. Unlike other ancient wonders, the temple's remains lie buried beneath layers of silt from the nearby Cayster River, which slowly swallowed the site over centuries. Early excavations in the 1860s uncovered fragments of sculpted columns and votive offerings, but the most tantalizing discoveries came later. Ground-penetrating radar surveys in the 1990s revealed massive stone foundations extending far beyond the visible ruins, hinting at subterranean chambers or even an earlier, grander iteration of the temple lost to history. One theory suggests these deeper layers could hold remnants of the very first Temple of Artemis, built around 800 BC, a humble wooden structure later replaced by the marble colossus. Another tantalizing possibility, the temple's fabled treasure vaults. Ancient writers like Pliny the Elder claimed the priests stored unimaginable wealth beneath the sanctuary, including artifacts gifted by King Croesus himself. In 2014, a team using electrical resistivity tomography detected anomalies in the soil, rectangular voids that could match descriptions of sealed storage rooms. But with the water table rising and the site protected as an UNESCO landmark, digging deeper remains a delicate proposition. Local legends add another layer of intrigue. Villagers in Selçuk still whisper about a network of tunnels linking the temple site to the nearby cave of the 7 Sleepers, where early Christians were said to have hidden from persecution. Could these passages have been used to smuggle treasures to safety during the temple's final days? Or do they point to an even older sacred site repurposed over millennia? The most promising clues might lie in the unlikeliest places. Recent studies of pottery fragments from the site revealed traces of myrrh and frankincense, exotic resins imported from thousands of miles away. This wasn't just local worship, it was a global pilgrimage site, a crossroads of cultures and commerce. Even the temple's famed Amazonamaki frieze, depicting battles between Greeks and warrior women, suggests a blending of myths and identities that scholars are only beginning to untangle. For now, the Temple of Artemis exists in fragments, a column here, a sculpture there, whispers beneath the earth. But every radar scan, every drained swampy patch, brings us closer to understanding how a single building could captivate the ancient world so completely. Whether its lost treasures still sleep beneath Selçuk streets or were scattered to the winds centuries ago, one thing is certain: this wonder's legacy is far from forgotten. And somewhere in that waterlogged soil, the echoes of Artemis's sanctuary still murmur, waiting for the right moment to rise again. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was more than just a tomb. It was a monument so grand, its name became synonymous with all monumental resting places to come. Built for Mausolus, a Persian satrap who ruled Caria in the 4th century BC, This towering structure blended Greek, Egyptian, and Lycian architectural styles into a masterpiece adorned with sculptures and friezes by the era's greatest artists. Yet today, all that remains are scattered fragments and a crater-like foundation in Bodrum, Turkey. But what happened to its ruins, and could fragments of its legendary treasures still lie hidden beneath the modern city? After standing for nearly 16 centuries, the mausoleum was finally toppled by a series of earthquakes in the medieval period. By the 15th century, the Knights of St. John had repurposed its marble blocks to fortify their castle at Bodrum, grinding down its exquisite reliefs for lime mortar. But here's where the mystery deepens. Not all the mausoleum stones were accounted for. 19th century excavations revealed that entire sections of the structure, including the famed chariot statue that crowned its peak, simply vanished. Some historians believe these missing pieces were smuggled away during the chaos of the Crusades, possibly hidden in underground caches or shipped to distant collectors. Others speculate that local villagers, aware of the site's significance, quietly buried fragments to protect them from looters. Ground-penetrating radar surveys around Bodrum Castle have detected unusual voids in the bedrock, chambers that don't correspond to known storage areas. One theory suggests these could be sealed storerooms where knights stashed plundered artifacts before transporting them to Europe. Another tantalizing clue comes from a sailor's diary uncovered in Rhodes, describing a wagon of carved stone being loaded onto a Venetian galley under cover of night. Could this have been part of the mausoleum's frieze, now lost to history or languishing in a private collection? The most compelling evidence, though, might lie beneath the modern streets of Bodrum. In 2018, construction workers unearthed a mosaic floor near the mausoleum's original site, its designs echoing the geometric patterns described in ancient accounts of the tomb's interior. Beneath it, sonar imaging revealed a network of narrow tunnels, their walls lined with niches that may have once held votive offerings. Local archaeologists suspect these passages could connect to the mausoleum's substructure, the one area never fully explored by early excavators. Ancient texts hint that Mausoleus's actual burial chamber was deeper than previously thought, possibly shielded by a false floor or hidden stairwell. Then there's the enigma of the missing sarcophagus. Though early explorers found broken fragments of a grand coffin, no intact burial vessel was ever recovered. Some researchers propose that Mausoleus's remains were moved before the earthquakes, either to evade grave robbers or as part of a secretive dynastic ritual. A cryptic inscription found on a nearby stele references a journey beneath the earth, leading some to speculate that the ruler's true tomb lies elsewhere, its entrance concealed by time. The mausoleum's legacy is a puzzle of gaps and ghosts, scattered stones, whispered legends, and the lingering sense that its grandest secrets were never above ground to begin with. Whether its treasures were looted, lost, or deliberately buried, one thing is certain: this wonder of the ancient world still holds stories waiting to be unearthed. And until someone follows those hidden tunnels to their end, the full truth of Halicarnassus's masterpiece will remain just out of reach. The Library of Alexandria wasn't just a repository of scrolls, it was the beating heart of ancient knowledge, a place where scholars from across the Mediterranean gathered to debate, discover, and preserve the wisdom of civilizations. Yet its fate remains one of history's most tantalizing mysteries. Was it really reduced to ashes in a single catastrophic fire, or could fragments of its legendary collection still lie hidden beneath modern Alexandria's bustling streets? The truth is far more complex than the myths suggest, tangled in layers of political intrigue, accidental destruction, and the slow erosion of time. For centuries, the burning of the library has been blamed on Julius Caesar, whose troops allegedly set fire to their own ships during a siege in 48 BC, the flames spreading to the nearby warehouses where scrolls were stored. But here's what often gets overlooked: the library wasn't a single building. It was part of a larger scholarly complex called the Mausoleum, and while Caesar's fire may have destroyed a portion of its collection, historians like Plutarch note that the library itself survived for centuries afterward. So if it wasn't just Caesar who or what sealed its fate, the answer might lie in a series of smaller disasters: riots under Roman Emperor Aurelian, a purge of pagan texts during Christian upheavals, and finally, the Arab conquest in the 7th century, which folklore claims led to scrolls being burned as fuel for bathhouses. But even these stories are disputed, leaving us with a puzzle made of smoke and fragments. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Modern archaeologists have turned their attention to the subterranean corridors beneath Alexandria, where a network of ancient cisterns and tunnels hints at possible storage spaces forgotten by time. In 2004, Polish researchers mapping the foundations of the Caesarium, a temple near the suspected library site, discovered a series of sealed chambers filled with waterlogged debris. Among the rubble were fragments of parchment and wax tablets, their inscriptions too faded to read but tantalizing nonetheless. Could these be the last remnants of the library's collection, hastily hidden during one of the city's many crises? Even more compelling are the rumors of off-site caches. Ancient texts mention daughter libraries, including one at the Temple of Serapis, where scholars may have moved precious scrolls as conditions in Alexandria grew unstable. In 2010, excavations near the Qam el-Shakafa catacombs uncovered a hidden alcove lined with niches that match descriptions of scroll storage from Roman-era accounts. No scrolls were found, only the ghostly imprints of where they once rested. But the discovery raises a provocative question. If this was a backup archive, how many more might be scattered beneath the city, waiting for the right shovel or ground-penetrating radar sweep to reveal them? Then there's the wild card, the idea that the library's knowledge wasn't entirely lost, just scattered. Byzantine historians recorded that surviving scholars smuggled cartloads of scrolls to Constantinople and Antioch as Alexandria declined. Could copies of Aristarchus's star charts or Hipparchus's astronomical calculations still exist in some monastic vault or private collection, mislabeled or overlooked? The famous Archimedes' palimpsest, a medieval prayer book overwritten on recycled parchment from ancient Greek texts, proves how easily priceless works can hide in plain sight. The library's legacy isn't just about what was destroyed, but what might still be out there. Every time a diver explores Alexandria's sunken harbor or an archaeologist sifts through a newly unearthed cellar, the possibility lingers that somewhere beneath the Mediterranean's shifting sands, a clay jar stuffed with papyri waits to be found, its contents ready to whisper secrets we thought were lost forever. Until then, the library remains both a warning and a beacon, a testament to how fragile knowledge can be and how stubbornly it sometimes refuses to disappear. Beneath the bustling streets of modern Rome lies a shadow city of the dead, a labyrinth of tunnels and burial chambers stretching for miles, where early Christians once gathered in secret to bury their loved ones and practice their forbidden faith. The catacombs are famous, drawing thousands of visitors each year, but what few realize is that the well-trodden paths open to tourists are just the surface of a much deeper mystery. Recent surveys estimate that less than half of these underground networks have been fully explored, leaving entire sections untouched for centuries. Behind collapsed passageways and sealed-off chambers, there may still be relics, inscriptions, or even entire frescoed chapels waiting to rewrite our understanding of early Christianity. One of the most tantalizing possibilities lies in the catacomb of Calixtus, where ground-penetrating radar has detected anomalies beyond the publicly accessible areas. Archaeologists suspect these could be undiscovered cubicular, private family burial rooms adorned with some of the oldest Christian art in existence. Elsewhere, in the Domitilla catacombs, a team using laser scanning in 2019 uncovered faint scratches on a wall, barely visible lines that, when enhanced, revealed a crude but unmistakable depiction of the Last Supper, predating most known Christian iconography by decades. If such finds exist in the explored sections, what might lie in the sealed corridors where no light has penetrated for 1500 years? The Vatican's own archives hint at even greater secrets. Medieval manuscripts reference a lost level beneath the catacomb of Priscilla, described as containing the tongues of the apostles, a cryptic phrase some scholars interpret as early Christian texts or oral traditions inscribed on scrolls or tablets. Excavations in the 1970s uncovered a hidden staircase descending beyond the known limits of the catacombs, but work was halted due to instability. Recent thermal imaging, however, shows an odd temperature differential in that same spot, suggesting a void, possibly a collapsed chamber or tunnel. Could this be the entrance to the legendary lower level? Then there's the puzzle of the missing martyrs. Early Christian records speak of saints interred in these catacombs with great ceremony, yet many of their tombs have never been located. One theory suggests they were deliberately concealed during periods of persecution, their locations known only to a select few. In 2017, a restoration team working in the catacomb of Saints Marcellinus and Peter stumbled upon a false wall behind a fresco of the Good Shepherd. Behind it lay a small niche containing a glass vial, its contents long dried, but the shape matches descriptions of vessels used to hold the blood of martyrs collected after their executions. If this was a reliquary, who was it meant to honor, and how many more might be hidden in similarly disguised alcoves? Technology is slowly cracking open these sealed histories. Muon tomography, a technique that uses cosmic rays to map dense structures, has revealed entire branches of the catacombs previously unknown, some with peculiar architectural features like circular chambers that may have served as covert worship spaces. Even more intriguing are the reports of ghost inscriptions or words and symbols etched into the tufa rock, now too faded to read with the naked eye but detectable through multispectral imaging. A few fragments, painstakingly reconstructed, appear to quote from otherwise lost gospels or hymns, offering glimpses of a Christianity far more diverse than the standardized version that later emerged. The greatest challenge isn't just discovering what's hidden, it's preserving it. Humidity, mold, and the sheer weight of modern Rome pressing down on these fragile tunnels make every excavation a race against time. But with each new scan, each cautious probe into the darkness, the catacombs yield another piece of their story. Whether it's a long-lost martyr's tomb, a heretical text, or simply the scratch marks of those who dug these passages by hand, one truth becomes clear: the catacombs were never just a graveyard. They were a living archive of faith, defiance, and survival. And somewhere in those unmapped shadows, the whispers of the earliest Christians may still be waiting to be heard. The legend of Atlantis has captivated imaginations for over 2,000 years, a utopian island empire swallowed by the sea in a single cataclysmic day and night. Plato's original account describes circular cities of gleaming metal, advanced civilizations, and a tragic downfall born of arrogance. But what if this wasn't just philosophical fiction? Modern discoveries suggest Atlantis might have roots in real-world catastrophes, with one candidate standing above the rest: the volcanic island of Santorini. Around 1600 BC, Santorini wasn't the picturesque crescent we know today. It was a thriving Minoan settlement called Akrotiri, a bustling port with multi-story buildings, intricate frescoes, and sophisticated drainage systems. Then, the island's volcano erupted with a force estimated to be 4 times more powerful than Krakatoa. The explosion obliterated Akrotiri, triggered tsunamis that devastated Crete 100 miles away, and likely inspired tales of a kingdom vanishing beneath the waves. Excavations at Akrotiri reveal a city frozen in time, its streets and homes preserved under layers of ash like a Bronze Age Pompeii. Could this have been the inspiration for Plato's Atlantis? The parallels are striking: a circular island, a technologically advanced society, and a sudden, watery demise. But Santorini isn't the only contender. Off the coast of Spain's Andalusia region, satellite imagery has revealed unusual underwater formations resembling concentric rings matching Plato's description of Atlantis' capital. Sonar scans in the area show rectangular structures buried in the mud, some with right angles too precise to be natural. Are these the remnants of an ancient city or just quirks of geology? Meanwhile, in the Bahamas, the so-called Bimini Road continues to spark debate. This half-mile line of limestone blocks submerged in shallow water looks eerily like a man-made causeway. Some researchers tie it to Atlantis' fabled roadways, while skeptics dismiss it as a natural beach rock formation. The search for Atlantis isn't just about finding ruins, it's about decoding a cultural memory. Cataclysmic events like tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and floods appear in myths worldwide, from the biblical Great Flood to the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh. Could Atlantis be another version of this shared trauma, or was Plato blending real events with moral allegory? Until divers uncover a city-sized ruin with a name etched in marble, the truth will remain fluid, much like the waters that now hide whatever secrets Atlantis may have left behind. The pyramids of Meroe rise from the Sudanese desert like a chorus of sharp, slender sentinels, steeper, smaller, and far more numerous than their Egyptian cousins. While most travelers flock to Giza, these Nubian wonders hold secrets just as profound, buried beneath their russet stones. Over 200 pyramids dot the landscape here, the legacy of the Kingdom of Kush, a civilization so powerful it once ruled Egypt itself. Yet despite their grandeur, many of these structures remain unexplored, their inner chambers sealed by time, sand, and the deliberate hands of their builders. What might lie inside? Recent scans suggest the answer could rewrite our understanding of Africa's ancient empires. Unlike the pyramids of Giza, which were built as tombs for pharaohs, the pyramids of Meroe served as monuments for a broader elite, kings, queens, and nobles of a society that thrived on trade, iron production, and military might. But here's where it gets intriguing. Less than a third of these pyramids have been fully excavated, and the ones that have revealed a puzzling pattern. Many burial chambers were found empty, stripped of artifacts long before modern archaeologists arrived. Were they looted, or is there another explanation? Some researchers propose that the Kushites themselves periodically relocated royal remains and treasures, possibly to protect them from invading forces or to comply with shifting religious practices. Ground-penetrating radar has added fuel to the mystery. Surveys of several unexcavated pyramids detected hollow spaces behind their walls, some large enough to be hidden chapels or secondary burial chambers. One pyramid, designated Beg N11, shows an anomaly directly beneath its base, a rectangular void roughly the size of a chariot, its contents unknown. Could this be a cache of weapons, a hoard of gold, or even a library of Meroitic scrolls? The Kushites left behind a written language we've only partially deciphered, and the discovery of intact texts could finally unlock their untold stories. Then there's the enigma of the pyramid alignments. While Egypt's pyramids famously mirror the stars of Orion's belt, Meroe's pyramids follow a different celestial blueprint. Preliminary studies suggest their arrangement might track the path of the moon, a celestial body closely tied to the Kushite goddess Amsemi. Even more startling, infrared imaging revealed faint traces of pigment on several pyramids' inner walls, hinting at vibrant frescoes now faded to near invisibility. One fragment, painstakingly restored, depicts a procession of figures carrying an object resembling the Ark of the Covenant, a tantalizing nod to the Kushites' alleged ties to biblical legends. The most compelling evidence of hidden secrets, though, comes from the pyramid's subterranean layers. In 2019, archaeologists probing the tomb of Queen Amenhotep discovered a previously unnoticed shaft descending from her burial chamber. It led to a network of narrow tunnels, their walls etched with symbols resembling those found in distant Saharan caves. Were these escape routes, ritual passageways, or part of a grander necropolis beneath the sand? Local oral traditions speak of a city of the dead beneath Meroe, where kings held court even in the afterlife. Preservation poses a formidable challenge. The pyramid's soft sandstone erodes faster than Egypt's limestone, and political instability has stalled many excavations. But with each new scan, each fragile fragment of fresco or cryptic inscription, the kingdom of Kush whispers louder. Whether these pyramids guard lost treasures, forgotten histories, or simply the echoes of a civilization that rivaled Rome and Persia, one truth is clear: Meroe's story is far from finished. And until those sealed chambers give up their secrets, the desert winds will keep singing their silent hymns to the past. The Temple of Solomon stands as one of history's most tantalizing enigmas, a sacred structure so revered its very stones are whispered to hold divine secrets. While the temple itself was destroyed millennia ago, its legacy lives on beneath Jerusalem's Temple Mount, where layers of myth, faith, and archaeology collide. What few realize is that beneath this contested ground, a site sacred to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, lie tunnels, chambers, and possibly even artifacts from Solomon's time, untouched for centuries. But uncovering them isn't just a matter of digging. It's a high-stakes puzzle of politics, religion, and fragile history. Theories about hidden treasures trace back to biblical accounts. First Kings describes Solomon's temple as adorned with gold, precious stones, and the legendary Ark of the Covenant, said to house the original 10 Commandments. When the Babylonians sacked Jerusalem in 586 BC, the Ark vanished, sparking centuries of speculation. Some believe it was smuggled through secret tunnels to Ethiopia, where it's said to reside today in Axum. Others argue it never left, that it's still concealed beneath the Temple Mount, sealed in a chamber known only to a select few. Medieval Jewish texts like the Emek HaMelech mention a labyrinth of passages beneath the temple, designed to safeguard sacred objects from invaders. Could these tunnels still exist? Modern technology offers glimpses but also frustration. Ground-penetrating radar surveys have detected voids beneath the platform supporting the dome of the rock, some aligned with ancient descriptions of the temple's layout. One anomaly, located near the site of the Holy of Holies, shows a rectangular chamber roughly the dimensions of the Ark's biblical measurements, yet exploring these spaces is nearly impossible. The Temple Mount's status as an active Islamic holy site means excavations are heavily restricted, and even non-invasive scans face fierce opposition. A 2011 attempt by archaeologists to survey underground water systems sparked riots, illustrating how volatile the quest for answers can be. Then there's the Warren's Gate mystery, named for the 19th century explorer who rediscovered it. This sealed tunnel once provided direct access to the temple's foundation walls. Ancient Jewish texts suggest it led to a hidden gate used by priests during rituals. Today, the passage is blocked by centuries of rubble, but thermal scans reveal drafts of air moving behind the stones, hinting at open spaces beyond. Some researchers believe these tunnels connect to the wider Solomon's Stables area, a subterranean vault beneath the mount's southeastern corner where crusaders once stabled horses. Recent probes there uncovered pottery shards dating to the First Temple period, fueling speculation that deeper layers might hold even older relics. The greatest challenge isn't just access, it's disentangling legend from archaeology. For every tantalizing scan or artifact, there are alternate explanations. The Ark Chamber anomaly could be a natural fissure or a medieval cistern. The tunnels might be Byzantine-era water channels, not priestly escape routes. Even the location of Solomon's original temple is debated. A minority of scholars argue it stood south of the current mount, placing its potential ruins under modern Jerusalem's crowded streets. Yet the allure persists. In the shadows of the Temple Mount, every stone seems to whisper possibilities of sacred texts buried beneath Al-Aqsa Mosque, of gold-lined tunnels referenced in Templar lore, or of the Ark itself, waiting for a moment when faith, politics, and technology align to reveal it. Until then, the temple's deepest secrets remain locked away, not just by time and earth, but by the weight of history itself. High on the slopes of Mount Parnassus, the ruins of Delphi's Temple of Apollo seem to whisper of a time when mortals could speak directly to the gods. At its heart stood the oracle, a priestess whose cryptic prophecies shaped the fate of empires, but her visions may have owed as much to the earth beneath her feet as to divine inspiration. Ancient sources describe the Pythia inhaling mysterious vapors rising from a fissure in the rock, sending her into a trance. For centuries, scholars dismissed these accounts as myth, until geologists uncovered startling evidence that Delphi's prophecies were fueled by something far more tangible, the very ground the temple was built upon. The key lies in the temple's location. Delphi sits at the intersection of two major fault lines where seismic activity isn't just frequent, it's transformative. In the late 1990s, a team of researchers discovered something extraordinary: traces of ethylene, a sweet-smelling gas known to induce euphoria and hallucinations, seeping from the limestone bedrock. This wasn't just any gas, it matched ancient descriptions of the pneuma, the sacred breath the Pythia was said to inhale before delivering her prophecies. Even more compelling, the faults beneath the temple intersect directly beneath the Aditon, the chamber where the oracle sat, creating a natural pipeline for these vapors to rise. But the geological story doesn't end there. Recent drilling expeditions revealed a hidden water table deep below the temple, its waters saturated with hydrocarbons. When agitated by seismic activity, common in this quake-prone region, these waters could have released bursts of gas, explaining why the oracle's visions were tied to specific times and rituals. The temple's architects might have known this intuitively, building the Aditon directly over the most active fissure. Some researchers even suggest the famous omphalos, the carved stone marking Delphi as the navel of the world, was placed precisely where it could channel these subterranean energies. Yet mysteries remain. Why did the prophecies cease in antiquity? The answer might lie in a catastrophic landslide recorded in the 4th century, which could have shifted the faults and blocked the gas vents. Alternatively, gradual tectonic movement might have sealed the fissures over time, draining Delphi of its intoxicating fumes. Modern scans show the faults are still active, but the gases have changed composition, no longer the ethylene-rich mix that once sent the Pythia into her divine frenzies. The most tantalizing question isn't just about geology, but agency. Did the priests of Apollo understand these forces, engineering rituals around seismic activity like ancient shamans? Or was Delphi's power a happy accident of geography, a place where humanity's hunger for meaning collided with the Earth's hidden chemistry, until someone reconstructs the Aditon exactly as it was, with its bronze tripod, its hidden vents, its long-vanished rituals? The line between divine intervention and earthly phenomenon will stay blurred. But one thing is certain, the stones of Delphi still guard their secrets, buried as deep as the fault lines that birthed them. Just off the coast of Japan's remote Yonaguni Island lies a submerged enigma that has divided scientists for decades. The Yonaguni Monument, a series of massive, angular terraces and stone formations, emerges from the ocean floor like a sunken citadel. Its crisp 90-degree angles, stepped platforms, and what appear to be carved pillars defying easy explanation. Discovered by a diver in 1986, this underwater labyrinth stretches over 150 meters, its tallest structure rising nearly 25 meters toward the surface. The question that haunts researchers isn't just what purpose it served, but whether human hands shaped it at all, or if nature alone sculpted this eerie geometric marvel. Geologists arguing for natural formation point to the island's sandstone bedrock, which fractures along sharp planes due to tectonic activity. They note how ocean currents could erode softer layers, creating the illusion of staircases and walls. But the opposing camp, led by marine archaeologist Masaki Kimura, counters with unnerving details. Twin megaliths resembling moai heads, what looks like a carved relief of a turtle, and a straight 5-meter-long channel that aligns perfectly with a similar formation on land. Even more compelling are the tool marks Kimura claims to have identified, grooves and notches inconsistent with random erosion. If he's right, the Yonaguni monument could rewrite history, suggesting a sophisticated culture thrived here over 10,000 years ago when sea levels were low enough to expose the site. The debate takes a stranger turn when you consider local legends. Yonaguni's folklore speaks of an ancient kingdom called the Land of the Gods, swallowed by the sea in a catastrophic event. Similar flood myths echo across Pacific cultures, from the Hawaiian story of Mu to the Okinawan tale of Nurai Kanai. Could these oral traditions preserve memory of a real catastrophe? Core samples from the area reveal evidence of massive underwater landslides around 2000 BC, events that could have drowned coastal settlements and their secrets. Diving deeper into the monument's mysteries reveals even odder clues. Near the main structure lies a flat, circular depression resembling a ritual stage, flanked by stones that some believe mimic ceremonial altars found in Japan's ancient Jomon sites. Even more intriguing is a triangular pool with vertical sides, its precise shape unlikely to form naturally. Sonar mapping in 2018 uncovered additional formations beyond the main site, long, straight roads extending into deeper water, their purpose unknown. The most tantalizing possibility that Yonaguni isn't alone. Satellite imagery has identified similar submerged structures near Taiwan and the Philippines, hinting at a network of prehistoric coastal settlements now lost to rising seas. If proven man-made, these sites could force us to reconsider the timeline of Pacific civilizations, suggesting advanced societies flourished long before previously thought. Until then, the Yonaguni monument remains a riddle wrapped in coral and currents, a silent sentinel guarding truths we've only begun to fathom. What if the greatest secret of these ancient monuments isn't what they reveal but what they still hide? From the mercury-laced tunnels beneath Teotihuacan to the submerged cityscapes of Yonaguni, every discovery peels back just one layer of a mystery that's been buried for millennia. These structures were never meant to be solved like puzzles. They were built to endure, to outlast civilizations, and perhaps to guard truths we're only beginning to grasp. The more we uncover, the clearer it becomes. Our ancestors knew far more than we've given them credit for about the stars, the earth, and forces we can't yet explain. Think about it: the Great Pyramid's hidden voids, the Sphinx's water-worn flanks, the eerie precision of Göbekli Tepe, each one defies the timelines we've carefully constructed. These aren't just architectural feats, they're breadcrumbs left by cultures who understood their world in ways we've forgotten. Maybe that's why they resonate so deeply. They whisper of lost technologies, sacred sciences, and ceremonies so potent they had to be sealed away. Or perhaps they're simply mirrors, reflecting back our own hunger for connection to something older and wiser than ourselves. But here's the thrilling part: we're standing on the brink of so many answers. With every scan, every dive, every speck of dust analyzed by lasers, we get closer to rewriting history. Imagine what might still lie in those uncharted chambers, scrolls preserving forgotten wisdom, artifacts that could redefine human achievement, or even proof of civilizations that vanished without a trace. The truth is out there, tucked beneath desert sands or submerged under centuries of seawater, waiting for the right moment to surface. Now it's your turn. Which of these mysteries keeps you up at night? Do you think the Hall of Records is real, or is the real treasure the questions themselves? And what other sites should we explore next? Angkor Wat's hidden bas-reliefs, the submerged ruins of Dwarka. Drop your theories in the comments and let's keep the conversation going. Because history isn't just about the past, it's about the stories we're still uncovering together. And who knows, the next big breakthrough might start with an idea from you.